And now we've got email after dark, coding for dark mode with everyone. Let me see some reactions in the chat. Come on, let's get some of the confetti going on, some of the ghosts and some of the pumpkins. Yeah, there we go. Guys, let's make a warm welcome for Megan Bushhausen, our senior email dev with Pathwire. Let's go ahead and get her in here, shall we? All right. Let's bring Megan on stage. Here she comes, y'all. Let's see those reactions. Give her a warm welcome, y'all. Give her a warm welcome. Here we go. All right, here she comes. Megan, what's going on?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hey.
Hi.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Everything worked. Yes. Hi.
Heck yeah.
Wow,
Good.
A lot of people here.
Yeah. I'm glad the poltergeists that have been bothering my microphone haven't gotten to you yet, so that's a good thing. Whatever you've done to keep them away, yeah, keep doing that. Oh man, awesome. Guys, before we get started here, yeah, like I said, Megan Bushhausen, y'all, our senior email dev with Pathwire. Super excited about this email after dark, coding for dark mode. So you guys know what I'm gonna say. Throw your questions in the question tab, please. And so we can we'll keep that moving when we get to that point. And remember, upvote. And yeah, it looks like someone already found you on Twitter, so we'll get to that point later on. Yeah, but perfect, cool. All right, Megan, I'm gonna go ahead and maybe terrorize some people in the email camp, and I'll come back later. Let me know if you need anything.
Great.
All right,
Will do.
See you in a little bit.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm super excited. Thomas gave a great intro there, and I hope everyone has enjoyed the other sessions that they've gone to, and I hope you really enjoy mine. So welcome. We're going to vanquish some dark mode email fears for good. And like Thomas said, this is Email After Dark, coding for dark mode. And first, a very quick intro. Thomas kind of already gave one. I'm Megan, senior email developer at Pathwire. As you can see, one of my favorite pastimes is writing bad emailer parodies on Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, you will sometimes see this happen. Feel free to jump in when I do it. It's always really, really fun. But the parodies are also really, really bad. So let's talk about dark mode a little bit first. What exactly does it do for our emails? It reverses an email's color theme and utilizes light design elements on a dark background. I'm not sure if my slides are slowing down on your end, and if it says coding for dark mode, I'm really sorry. I might be a slide ahead of you. Let's see if this catches up. Yeah, we're going real slow.
Poltergeist got us.
Poltergeist got us. It's going
they got us.
Right now.
Did they go away? Did they?
Hold on. We're going to give this a second because I can see we're on my intro slide right now with my second monitor. It's on the next slide off after.
No worries, Megan. No worries.
I'm glad this is all Halloween focused. There, we got one more slide we gotta go, and then I will slow it down. There we go.
Groovy. All right, y'all. I'll go back to terrorizing.
What changes on dark mode? We will see our background colors change and text. Images sometimes will change depending on how they're saved out, usually by showing a white background or a background color if it's saved as a JPEG. Iconography kind of goes along with the images, and our call to actions if they're buttons. And we're going to wait for this to go, I guess. There we go. So some challenges for supporting dark mode. Dark mode was launched back in 2018 by Apple, and the popularity just continues to surge on phones and computers alike. So its popularity is going to just keep growing. So we're going to be stuck with these challenges for a while. According to a survey recently done by Pathwire, we know that 43% of respondents find optimizing logos and images to be a challenge. And behind that, at 34 and 33% respectively, are optimizing code to render correctly and keeping email designs on brand. These are all valid concerns, and we'll be going over some of these concerns in a bit. But first, we're going to talk about some of the positive things about dark mode. Dark mode is really helpful in low light situations, except when it keeps me on my phone for too long at night. It's a problem I need to work on. And it can ease eye strain, which is also why it keeps me on my phone for too long at night. It's also less likely to trigger photophobia, which is a sensitivity to light. And for many, it's just a personal preference. There are a few downsides to think about with dark mode, though. For some people with dyslexia or astigmatism, a total contrast of white text on a black background can make the text hard to read. And if we don't control the colors on dark mode where we can, that color inversion can potentially lead to accessibility issues. With all that said, how do we even begin to develop for dark mode? We'll need to control our color contrast and optimize our logos and images. The first step to do this is through our media queries. Media queries aren't supported everywhere, but they are supported in some key clients like Apple's native iOS mail app. Definitely check your analytics to see where people are opening up your emails. Unsurprisingly, Outlook supports media queries on its macOS app, but not on Windows. So the first thing we need to do is tell your email to include those dark mode styles, or else email's not going to know what to do. And this is what a very basic email template can look like. In order to render your dark mode styles, we need to include special meta tags and styles on the root element. And here's what those look like up close. We use both color scheme and supported color schemes to support, legacy code, as dark mode has changed a little bit since first launching. Now that we have our structure in, let's build a simple email with some dark mode styles. This is the basic body of a one-column layout where we have an H2 header, some text, and a CTA coded in there. And when we look at our email, once it flips, we will see that. There we go. We got some Doctor Who going on. Don't talk to me about anything past halfway through Capaldi's reign, because I had a kid halfway through that and had to drop the show. Haven't watched it since. Tennant is my doctor. In order to optimize this for dark mode, we add @media prefers color scheme dark and declare our styles wherever we would like to control the appearance. Make sure to include an exclamation point important at the end of each style so it overrides other styles you've declared for light mode. And when this goes again, awesome, that was a little faster this time. We can see how it now looks in dark mode. Now, how do we swap the logos between light and dark mode? We can actually use some modern HTML elements to achieve our image swap, which is super amazing. We can use the picture element to set your dark mode logo as the source and set your media attribute to prefers color scheme dark, like we do with the media query. And your light logo will go in your typical image tag with that source. When we view the email in dark mode again, we see that the black logo is hidden and the white logo shows, like we saw before. So what happens if you can't control what's happening in dark mode? When I look at my email in dark mode on Gmail's iOS app, this is what I see, which isn't great. There are a few immediate, potentially short-term solutions available. You can outline your logo, add a glow, or use a full color version that will work on light and dark modes. Work with your designers and branding team to come up with a solution that works best for your brand. At the least, use transparent PNGs to avoid a white, bright background. That could potentially hurt your users' eyes. And with everything in email, we have quirks. Always, always quirks. Does most of it have to do with Outlook? Maybe, but we're going to talk about Gmail first. Oh, my poltergeists have gotten me again, and this is going forward before I was ready. We're going to go back. Let's see. All right. So we can use blend modes, and it's still going. Wow. Thanks, poltergeists. We can use blend mode in Gmail to maintain a little bit of consistency, which is like a super cool little piece of CSS. Like my mind was blown when I learned this. So I have some examples. We'll see when it shows of how Gmail messes. There it is. Here's an example of how Gmail messes with our colors in dark mode on mobile. We can see how the media queries here just don't work, and Gmail inverts the color on iOS. What's interesting here is that on Android, that text is left intact. So we have the email in iOS on the left and Android on the right. But we can control Gmail on iOS a little bit by using those blend modes. First, we have to wrap our content in 3 divs. The first one has a background color and a gradient. This technique was first introduced by Annette Forsett and Anne Tomlin in Talk About Dark Mode last year. Thanks, Anne, I know you're here. And further documented by Remy Parmentier. The 2 divs that are nested in the first div calls classes to blend the text and the background colors using the blend mode screen and difference. You might be familiar with blend mode, just a little sidetrack from Photoshop. It's kind of the same thing if you've messed around in there with the layers a little bit. Gmail basically does a bunch of really fancy math and inverts the colors and then inverts them again, giving us white text on our original background color. In our styles, we set the CSS for the classes we declared in the HTML. Our background has to be set to black for this to work. You can see where we have the blend modes set to screen and difference. In order to target Gmail, we add the letter U and the little plus sign, which Gmail adds to its code when it's processed, and the class body, which should appear on the body tag. And we'll see how it works. And there we go. Text now appears white on both apps. And now we get into some Outlook quirks. You may have tried to swap your images for your logos and see that it doesn't work on Outlook.com, but there is a way to do it. It's super, super cool also. As you can see, I always call everything super cool. Don't know why, just what I do. Or actually, that'll be next. I'm realizing we're gonna make colors work now. Sorry, jumped ahead of myself because everything's awesome. So here, the first thing we do is use an attribute selector to tell Outlook not to look at these styles. Then we add data-OGSB before the elements or classes we want to target. OGSB stands for Original Style Background. When you view these emails in Outlook.com, it will now work with its dark mode button. And I'm very sorry I don't have an actual example of that because I don't have access to that client. Now we're going to talk about swapping logos in Outlook.com. Here we nest a few different elements because in email we always have to nest things within things within things. The entire code is wrapped in an H1 element with a named class, with a class name, logo or whatever you want to call it. This will allow us to target both images. Using the picture element, we can set our dark mode logo as the source and place our light mode logo using the image tag after, like we went over earlier. And it went forward a slide. And this is where things kind of get cool, is that you can set an image background for your dark mode image, and Outlook.com will read that. One thing you have to note though is to make sure your width and your height are around the same as your logo, or else you risk seeing the logo repeat as a background image. And our final quirk, which is a little bit more well-known but super easy to fix, is Apple won't always invert a straight white background color, which is a very strange quirk out of all the things that could go wrong. Oh, I don't know why I'm full screen right now, but weird things are happening. And the way to fix that is by simply doing a small change of an off-white color, like changing the final F to E, and Apple will magically invert those colors. And those are all my dark mode things. Some resources, because no one codes in a vacuum, and I have learned so much from others, and I hope you learned a lot here. Pine Tools is great for finding different colors if you want to lighten or darken. I believe that's a tool Anne sent me one time. A lot of stuff I get from Good Email Code, Good Email Code from Mark Robbins. Remy has helped me tremendously via Can I Email and his website. I learned the background image trick from him. And if you know any other resources, feel free to share and let me know. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that was so weird that that kept happening. But whatever poltergeist is gone. I hope it's gone now. Goodness gracious. Oh my goodness, y'all. All right, cool. Well, let's get into some Q&A, shall we? Awesome.
Stop sharing my screen. Oh, there we go. It's done. I didn't have to do anything.
Go. It's all good, Megan. Cool, Megan. Let's get to the fun part. Even more fun part, right? That was the fun part. Let's have some more, shall we? Okay. Cool. All right. So moving on. Okay. So this one's a little specific, but someone was asking, how can we code MJML for dark mode for our end?
Oh yeah, good question. Funny thing, even though I work for Pathwire now, I've never coded using MJML, so I can look into it and let you know.
Yeah. No, we can definitely find some resources for you, Julie. And yeah, Julie was the one who asked that one. But we will definitely reach out to you to make sure we can express to you how we can code this in MJML. So definitely that'll be done. Okay, someone asked, is it possible to track dark mode using, is it possible to track dark mode usage in GA?
You looking to like do dark? Sorry, I'm trying to look at the questions and I'm a little lost as to where they all are. Oh, is it possible? Oh, NGA. Oh, Google Analytics. Okay. Yep. Sorry. Before I thought you said NGA, and I was like, I don't know what NGA is. Okay.
I didn't even realize Analytics. GA was a good for Google Analytics.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's Google Analytics.
Yeah.
Google Analytics. Google Analytics. I don't think you can't track by device. I have to think about it. I wonder if there's a way with like loading a link or something that maybe you could do it. I know with pixels, if you're using image pixel tracking, you can track via dark mode for the places that support the media query. You just fire that pixel with the media query. But with Google Analytics in particular, I am not entirely sure. I'd have to look at that.
Cool. We can definitely come back to that one. No worries. Yeah. But hey, now we know. All right. So moving on here, y'all. Okay. Someone had asked, do we have access to the presentation slides? Guys, like I said, you will have access to them later on once we send that link out. So do not worry. Do not fret. Okay. So dark mode best practices for those of us that mainly use. Yeah. And
Yeah, the WYSIWYGs. Yep.
I was gonna ask you, how do we say that one? Yeah.
The WYSIWYGs. Yeah.
WYSIWYGs.
So with that, it's going to depend on your ESP how much they support dark mode. The best things you can do is that's where optimizing your images, I think, will come into play really well. Save your images as with transparent backgrounds, those PNGs, rather than something like a JPEG to avoid a background color, and make sure that the colors you use will invert in a way that you like. Oh, my child is walking in. Hello, I'm in the middle of something. I'll talk to you in a second. Sorry, my child is home from school because I've had a cold and I'm waiting for a COVID test to come back, which is probably negative, but so it's a very pretty picture.
I will say the door opening sound was spooky for a moment. I was like, who just walked in?
So yeah, optimize your images. Use that Pine Tools website to make sure that your colors are going to invert the way that you expect them to, so you don't get a horrible color or really bad contrast in dark mode. And that's the best piece of advice that I can give for that.
Nice. Hey, Megan, if you want to show off that photo. Hi,
here's my daughter.
Camp. Everyone say hi.
Say hi to my daughter.
What is she going to be for Halloween?
What are you going to be for Halloween? You going to talk? You going to
she can show off her photo if she wanted to show off
you
that photo.
You want to show your picture?
This is the place to show it off.
No, she doesn't want to. She's being shy.
Oh, no worries. No worries. You want to help your mom answer some
help me answer questions?
Dark mode questions?
Yeah, I have earbuds in, so she can't even hear what's happening.
Oh, no, it's all good.
All right, what other questions do people have for me?
Okay, let's see. Someone asked, how do you test your code for dark mode apart from using Email and Acid? Or even with us? Yeah,
you can use something like Email and Acid. Another way is on live devices, as you have them or can find them. Another tool that you can use is oh gosh, I'm blanking on the website right now, of course, and I used to use it all the time. Proofjump, that's what it is. Like I used to use this all the time in previous job. Proofjump has a dark mode simulator. So you can always dump your code into that. And another thing you can do is also use your Chrome. If you are coding in Chrome, you can simulate dark mode using the Chrome DevTools, and trigger those media queries and see what it looks like that way too, which is super cool.
Nice. Okay, and then let me see here. Rodrigo asked, is it possible to change background images in dark mode? Can it be done through OGSB? And Megan, let me know if I'm saying that acronym wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I say it. So someone else tell me if we're both saying it wrong. Let me read this. If you're talking via Outlook, that I'd imagine that should work. Because changing, we can change colors and images, font colors and background colors. Considering we're using a background image to target Outlook to swap the logos, that leads me to believe it works. I haven't particularly tried it. With the media queries, you can target anything. But I would experiment with those Outlook attributes to see what works.
Gotcha. Also, guys, some things I totally forgot to mention earlier. Check out these. Check out the dark mode email server that we had done over on Mailgun, and then also on the Email and Acid side, the same blog post that Paul actually contributed with Megan as well. They both collabed on this. Check it out. I'll throw actually back in the chat tab. So you guys we just when you get a moment.
Yep, we just posted a couple of different blog posts. Oh, and Mia's throwing a lacrosse ball around. We have a couple of blog posts up about accessibility and about dark mode, super recent, so you should be able to easily find them.
Did you want to give them like a brief highlight over those? What some of those entail a little bit?
Oh gosh, off the top of my head, The survey is really interesting. You know, most of us developers are obviously worried about keeping things on brand. There's some advice on one of the posts from my colleague Francois, who's our graphic designer, about how to keep things on brand and some ideas there design wise. And really about, you know, baking in dark mode styles and the accessibility into your workflow to make sure that your emails can reach the largest amount of people.
There you go. There you go. Also, shout out to Francois and our design team for helping us get Email Camp all together, and his design team getting all these backgrounds and all the renderings.
My background disappeared.
It's all good.
Totally
it's all good.
fine. Do you want me to show your picture?
It says Poltergeist. Yeah, show the photo. Let's see that photo.
This is what she drew while she was downstairs.
Love it. Heck yeah. Let's get some reacts in the chat, y'all, for Megan's daughter's photo. Heck yeah.
She's supposed to be at school, but I couldn't send her today.
Oh, it's all right. Hey, days home with mom are fun. Those are the cool days. Those are the best days ever. Well, cool. Awesome. Well, let me see if do we have one more? I think we have one more. We got one more, and then Megan, we can let you go. Asked us, are using PNGs the best type of image to use over other formats, dark mode or not? I'm worried about widespread email client support.
Yeah, PNGs are supported everywhere. I would use it over JPEGs. You can also, if you're doing like an animated GIF, you can look at the animated PNGs also. I don't believe those have as much a widespread support. Almost done, sweetie. But yeah, PNGs are fine unless it's, you know, your standard like rectangular JPEG. Use a JPEG there for like a photo. But if you're doing any sort of logo and you need a background color to show through, use a PNG.
Nice. Perfect. Okay. All right, Megan. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you feel better. Thanks for having me. Yeah,
I'm feeling a lot better today than the previous day, so we're on the mend.
Oh my goodness. We'll have some spooks this weekend. Maybe that'll scare whatever sickness is.
Right.
Just trying to get after you. But thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here.
Thanks for having me.
And thank your daughter for being here with us as well.
Yep.
Thank you for letting her show her photos. So awesome, guys. Megan Bushhausen, thank you so much for being here. She just did Email After Dark, Code for Dark Mode. Let's get some reacts in the chat. Show her some love. Awesome, guys. All right, Megan. Well, I'll see you around in a meeting soon or something like that.
See you later.
See you. Bye, Megan.
Bye.